Hello, folks. We're the Lingenhoels. We're with Keller Williams Chervenic, and I'm Arden.
And I'm Lisa.
And hey, we're joined today by Scott Spencer.
Hello, hello.
How you doing, Scott?
I'm good. Doing fine.
Looking good.
Keep going. That's good.
Looks like you got a tan. You've been out in the sun?
Well, we just got back from vacation.
All right.
Yes, nice. It
A
was
very well-deserved vacation.
we enjoyed it. It was hot.
Yeah.
Very hot. But
Did your wife
right.
work?
of course.
She had to work.
She always works,
in the morning.
Arden.
Yes, sir, bud.
So she does. What does she do in the mornings?
She's a yoga instructor.
Right.
And so there's this thing that down in Cancun, all the resorts, they want yoga instructors to help or to do their mornings, and so they give you a really amazing rate. I mean, amazing rate to be there.
That's a shame.
It was. I mean, I said, honey, you go ahead, enjoy, as I was eating and laying in the sun and by the pool. And
It's a rough life.
it really wasn't.
So you get. Oh well, that's cool.
But it was cool. It was a good
cool.
week.
Good thing she teaches yoga.
That's another
Good.
one.
Good thing. Good thing.
True.
She's a great instructor.
I think she does. I did a class.
Did you?
You did?
It about killed me, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm actually going to try her class this Wednesday.
Are you really? Because it
Yeah.
I'll put it this way. It's such an oxymoron for me, meaning my muscles aren't ready for this, and they hurt so much when I do it, but afterwards,
You feel great, right?
I do.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and, she goes, "You're going to come back?" And I'm like, I don't know.
Well, the point was proven, huh?
It was. And I'm like,
Maybe, Arden, maybe you should come along.
See?
Yeah. I think I'm busy that day.
Oh, my.
What day is it?
It's Wednesday night.
It's on Wednesdays.
Okay.
Does she teach it every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday, 7:00.
Okay. Okay. So we need to get that information
We're putting
out.
a plug in for Susan Spencer.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
We'll maybe talk about that in just a few minutes.
Sounds good.
Anyway, so just a huge announcement.
Big announcement.
Big announcement. Yard of the Week took place this week. And
Today.
Today, yeah.
Yeah, we were out.
Some of you were probably wondering what the heck happened to Yard of the Week last week.
Well, we stopped there twice. They happened to
Yeah.
be out of the country on vacation also.
Out of the country.
Yeah.
Were they out of the
Oh,
country?
no, they were in Myrtle
They were out of the
Beach.
state.
Yeah, they
Out of
were,
the
I'm
state.
sorry, in Myrtle
Yeah.
Beach. That's right.
So John.
Well, that's
and-
kind of out of the country.
kind of. John and Jama Conrad.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I've known the Conrads for quite a while, and their daughter Melanie was in my ear, said, "You got to go past Mom and Dad's place and check it out." And
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh.
4928 Nice Road. And you drive by and you don't realize that the property goes back 3 acres.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it is 3 acres of heaven. As you get back to the backyard, you continue back into the woods.
Pine trees.
Pine trees.
Yeah.
And you think, oh yeah, you go back into the woods. Well, these woods, there are paths in the pine trees, and everything has been manicured, and there's flower beds in the woods, in
Yep.
the pine trees, and little places to sit. Scott, you do
I
things
would
like
like that,
this.
yeah.
in
He would
your
be cutting
wood.
down the trees, though.
Well, yeah, you would be cutting down the trees. But
No lie.
it's like heaven. And I turned to him and I said, "This is the perfect place to have a wedding." And he said, "Yeah, we have had a wedding back
Yeah,
here."
Mel had her wedding there, so
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Pretty cool.
So anyway, congratulations to John and Jama. And we hope that you enjoy ice cream at Virgil's this week. So John, get your wife.
Virgil's back to
Get your
sponsoring.
wife over there and enjoy ice cream. Yes, and thank you, Virgil's, very much. So
It was
anyway,
awesome.
we're out and about this week looking again for next week's yard of the week. So get your yards ready.
So we'll
back at
pick
it.
you.
Yeah, we're back at it. So anyway, we are so excited to have Scott with us.
Thank you.
Scott, you are a dear friend. You've
Yes.
been around in our lives for, over 20 years. Well, about 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
I would say. Well, yeah, AJ's 22, so more than 22
More than 20
years. And Scott is our pastor.
Yeah.
And we attend Eastwood Springs. And for those of you who travel up and down Route 44, you have probably now seen the beautiful sign.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty cool.
The sign.
Yeah, we
That is out in
we got
front of our
scared a few
church.
times. We used the Scott and I and his son Steven got the signs up there with my tractor.
Oh,
and
yeah, the front loader.
It scared us a couple times, but we got it into place, didn't we?
It worked. It slipped a couple times, but it's still...
It's something else.
Heavy.
Yeah, it's something else. So go by and check it out. But
It looks amazing. We went by last
it's
night.
very
Was it on?
unusual.
Was the
Yeah.
lights on
The
for
lights
you?
were on.
Good.
And we got off of 62 and we were going to turn north to go home. And Arden said, "Hey, let's go check out the lights," because you spoke about the lights
yeah.
at church yesterday morning. And as we turned on 44, we could see the lights
Did
from
you
the
really?
marathon
Yeah, you can see the
station.
blue glow.
Yeah.
There you go.
It was so awesome.
He's got
so
blue
awesome.
lights in
Yeah.
there, so
Yeah.
that's
Looks good.
pretty cool.
Looks good.
But
So
so a lot has been happening. That's why we had Scott on. We had you on in December. Might have been
Boy.
December or January. I can't remember. But after we had purchased the church and went in, Scott is a woodworking guru. He has his own sawmill.
I do, but I don't know about the guru part.
Guru,
but yeah.
You are a guru.
Yeah.
But anyway, the place has changed, and I know that if a lot of you had gone to Peace Church, you go back there, you'd probably be shocked.
I would...
So you need to
should
come and
be.
check it out.
Yeah.
right.
I mean, it definitely has transformed.
Yeah, a
The
little
last
bit.
6 months, we definitely have seen a transformation. Not only on the outside, which wasn't bad, but we cleaned up certain things, but also mostly on the inside. Because there was a guy that came in Saturday or Friday, and he looked around, and he actually went into they called it the fellowship hall, or just cafe, same room. And he looked around and he goes, "Am I in the same building?"
yeah.
That's all he said. He
yeah.
goes, "Am I in the same building? I've been here all my life, and I don't. It's almost like I don't know this
Wow.
room."
Right.
It was that
Yeah.
big of a difference. So, but he really liked it. So that was a nice compliment. So
That's
that was cool.
pretty cool. Yeah, Scott's implemented some rustic woodworking.
I'd say rustic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the word.
Well, but it has a modern
It has a
Yeah.
modern feel to it.
feel
but,
to it also.
But yeah, we got church up and going, and
Yeah.
we're going to talk about that for a little bit. We kind of revamped the sanctuary,
Yeah,
and
that too. Yeah.
took some pews out, brought some chairs in.
Yeah.
It's kind of, what do you want to say? What's the motif now?
The word contemporary is used in a lot of settings. And I still
vast.
would use the word contemporary, modern or something, but it just, I don't know anymore. I mean, you think about when I think about it, is that 20 years ago, it was almost like a sin to have coffee in the sanctuary, or there was no way you're going to have a cafe in
Yeah.
a church.
Yeah.
God forbid that one. And I think now every church, well, many churches have a cafe in their
Yeah.
church, and so things have changed drastically, or a lot. And I think if anybody knew nothing wrong with the old setting at all, it was beautiful in that setting, very beautiful. For our DNA, we'll call it, we changed it around to what it is today. A lot of lights, a lot of big screens and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Yep.
It just fits what we do. And it's fun too.
You know, the one thing that we love Stephen in there. He brings the music ministry to a whole new thing. I mean,
he's good.
You know, some of you don't. You know, Stephen has been on our show, and Stephen, what a great instrumental.
What great talent.
Yeah.
And along with his wife, Stephanie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And your daughter.
And
so
Diana.
They do a great job. I mean, I know
They do.
I'm a proud dad in saying this stuff, and you know, and dads always say those, oh, they're the best, and everybody looks at them like, where I'd rather have somebody else say it and me echo it and say they do a phenomenal job.
yeah, I mean, it's very legit. I mean, I think so. Well, he was on tour. I mean, you know, the guy's been on tour, so you know, it's pretty cool to check it out. I think. You know, you kind of get your groove on. Kind of, you know, it's really.
What's interesting, cool. You know, we have a church of 75 people. You know, with the kids and everybody, and it's a great. I think it's a great group in every way. But I also know that each one of them have been on staff or in places where, in a church of thousands. And they were worship leaders there, and so a lot of times I'll look and think, boy, am I holding them back? You know, that kind of thing, because they could be on that stage. And I've said that many times to Stephen, hey, if you ever get to a place where you're thinking, hey, I want to, he'll just look at me and go, Dad, shut up. I love where I'm at. I don't want to leave. You know,
Well, he's been there. He's been there,
and he says, this is where I want. I'd rather be here.
Yeah.
And so I'm saying, hey, just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something. The music is awesome.
It's awesome.
So. Yeah.
And then the pastor there, unbelievable.
Go on, because I'll tell you what.
I mean, just you know, the pastor is unbelievable.
Rob, do you have any comments over there?
Well, Rob attends. So
I do.
Yes, he does.
I was telling him yesterday. Actually, we had a nice conversation yesterday, and I said, you know, I've looked for a long time for a new home, and I think I finally found it. It's my new home. So
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
it doesn't. Cool. It's not a struggle to get up and go to church anymore.
right.
Well, and that, you know, the thing about church. I mean, let's face it. We can all get in a rut. Number one, we can all get to a place where we've stopped going. You know, it doesn't mean you don't love God and you're not a Christian or believer. It's just you just haven't found that place. And then sometimes when you go to that place or try some places out, that particular Sunday morning just didn't connect, or you know. And the conversation even Rob and I had is a conversation that I've had many times. And the bottom line is this: is that I want a place that does not put guilt on people, does not, I will say it this way, you get what you see. You know, whatever you're seeing, that's what you get. There's nothing going to come back and get you. You know, it's not as, well, we're going to bring you in the door and then we'll get you on something. No, it's, so I think that's what we're striving for, because, yes, I've been on staff at bigger churches and seen a lot of things, and I've been in the back room with artists and pastors and, you know, celebrities, we'll say, of Christian. On the stage, they're amazing. Off the stage, some of them, not too amazing.
Not too amazing.
I want to stay on and off. How's that?
That's what a lot of people like that.
So,
but
let's be real.
Yeah. Well, church starts at 10:30, but we tend to come a little early and have some coffee and some breakfast.
Yep.
And then with church starting at 10:30, there are children's programs.
Yes.
Our daughter actually helps teach children.
Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing. I know.
we love it.
I love it.
That's crazy.
So
cool.
we have toddler program.
Yep.
And then the little children, what?
Oh, yeah. You have nursery. You have a nursery, you know, and then you have the toddlers. They have their own room, and we develop the room for them. And then we have kids' church from kindergarten or first grade to fifth grade.
Okay.
And then the teenagers
Yes.
stay in the sanctuary. And actually the kids, stay in the sanctuary for the worship.
Yeah.
Usually half the time
Yeah.
they get antsy and get them out.
They were dancing.
They-
Yeah. They were
dance.
having so much fun.
It was-
They
that's-
love the music. So why not?
I know.
Why not?
And then the teenagers, for the 3 out of 4 will go into their class after service. And then so we try to give everybody their age group service.
Yeah.
And what our goal has been in the last 6 months is to take every area of that age and create just for them something that would get their attention, something that they would enjoy. And so that has been the goal, and we're marching through it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
kids are like, especially the toddlers, we have made a tree house, and can't get them off it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
mean, they're-
They love it.
Well, I think a lot of parents are like Lisa and I, and we want what's best for our kids.
true. I do too.
And so when we obviously looked for a church, it was about the kids.
Absolutely.
Not dragging them to church, kicking and screaming, or they don't go.
Right.
Yeah.
Our kids are like, excited to go. So
Yeah.
that's what's kind of
And
cool.
at the time we began coming to church,
Yeah.
our children, well, they weren't children, they were teenagers.
Yeah.
When we changed churches, they wanted to come.
Yeah, they wanted us to check it out.
It wasn't a challenge anymore. So it's like
well,
a piece of
yeah.
cake. They're like, hey,
No.
let's go.
Well, I
So,
think the greatest, you have like Stephen in the community doing
yeah.
things. Tori's in the community doing things.
Yeah.
Drea is a firefighter at Nimishillen, so she's in the community. So they know Louisville very well, and there's many people that know them very well too.
Yeah.
And so it's been somewhat, I don't want to say easy, but I don't know the other word, but it's been somewhat easy to watch people come into the building from the area, because when they do come in, you guys, lived here your whole life, and it's like, oh, that's John and Sue. That's, whoever.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's like,
Yeah.
so when somebody knows somebody, no matter who it is so much easier for them to feel like, oh, I'm not a stranger in this place. And I think that's the key, that most of the people that come in, they don't feel like a stranger.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Hopefully you don't. That's our goal.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, we have another aspect to the church we're going
We
to
do.
talk about.
Yeah.
It's kind of the community part of it. And when we get back from our break, we're going to talk to Scott a little bit more about that. So see you soon.
Are you looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle with a great price? Then check out Ted's Auto Sales. Ted's has a great selection of vehicles and will find you the right one that fits your needs. Ted's was founded on trust, integrity, and respect, and has been serving in the Louisville, Ohio and Nimishillen Township area for over 65 years. So call Ted's today at 330-875-9401. Ted's Auto Sales, Louisville's premium pre-owned dealer.
Did you know that when you invest in your smile, you're investing back into your Stark County community? Welcome to Thomas Dental. My name's Tanya. I'm Dr. Mike's practice manager. Every day, we're investing back into our community. Here are just a few of our community efforts. Here at Thomas Dental, our mission is bringing smiles back to our community, one smile at a time.
Hello everyone, I'm Tegan Evans. As many of you know, when the Louisville Herald moved on into retirement, the city of Louisville, Nimishillen Township, and all of its community members were left with a void. The community lost its ability to hear about local events, news, information, sports, and community projects. We lost the ability to come together for Louisville's betterment. Well, we have a solution for you, Spotlight Media Network. Spotlight Media Network is a place anyone can go, whether it be social media, YouTube, or our website, that will display information in different formats to show the best Louisville has to offer. One last thing, if you have something newsworthy or something you would like the community of Louisville to hear about, send us an email at spotlightlouisville1@gmail.com. So if you want to see what is happening in Louisville or the best Louisville has to offer, check out Spotlight Media Network, where we know Louisville is number one.
Hey, we're back. Lisa and myself, Arden, along with Scott Spencer.
Hello, hello.
Yeah.
And we've been talking a little bit about Eastwood Springs.
Yes.
And we talked a little bit the first half about the church.
Right.
Now we're getting into the community center.
Yep.
And if you've been by the church, you'll notice that we have some banners hanging out, and it talks about community center. And maybe you want to just elaborate on that a little bit.
You know, when we started Eastwood Springs Church, our DNA has always been teens or kids, teens, and still is. And it's one where when I presented the idea to the church and said, look, I love church and blah, blah, all that stuff, nothing against it, but I'd rather make it into a community center. And everybody kind of looked at me like, what do you want to do? You know, that thing. Because I get asked many times, even here the last 6 months of Eastwood Springs, is this a church or is this a community center? And I say, yes. And they kind of give me the look, and I go, it is a church on Sunday, but through the other 6 days of the week, it's a community center because, and again, it's not cracking on anybody, but for me, I've been on staff at many churches, like I mentioned, and we probably use the building twice a week.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe other churches are using their building, you know, nonstop, which is great. But for the ones that I was at, and for even the church we're at, we're not going to use it every day. And so I'd rather make it a community center. And so we're right now, in the last 6 months, not only in the remodeling end of it, of creating, you know, the things we want, but you talk about DNA. Well, you know, DNA is who we are and all that kind of stuff. So what is Eastwood Springs DNA? And we keep saying this over and over. It's kids, teens, and parents.
Right.
Over and over. And so in saying that, there are certain things that we have, I've been talking to people that I believe it's our DNA by what we've been talking about. One is called Legacy, and we're still, again, we're in talking mode, but Arden and I have been in Legacy, and Lisa for that matter, in Legacy, and it's just a mentoring program to teenagers. And the Legacy itself is in I don't know how many different middle schools in Stark County.
Almost all of them.
I was thinking that, so it's
pretty close.
And they have, you know, all these, you know, hundreds of volunteers to be able to do this in all the middle schools. And so it's been a program since 2015, and it's one where I went for the first time this year. And, you know, we had the 8th graders, and then I had the 6th grade squirrels. And, you know, they're both of them, they come in for lunch.
A little different.
Oh, much different. And so it's like, but that's what it's about.
Yeah.
And so if the talk is getting Legacy, you know, using Eastwood Springs Community Center, combining it with Legacy to help out in that area. My daughter, who does the cheerleading, Tori Veneer, and she changed her name from Technique with Tori to
Rob, help us.
Rob,
Rob.
here we go.
Cheer Technique Academy.
there you go. And I'm
There
a dad,
we
and I'm like, you
Yeah.
know, so it's like, but Cheer Technique Academy, she changed her name to that, and it's just been growing, you know, more and more. And one of the things she said is, I need more space. And so again, there's the community kids and parents. And so we're talking of what that could look like, and you know, what are the needs they're representing. And then we kind of mentioned a little bit last with yoga.
Yeah, yoga on Wednesday evenings.
Susan, my wife's been doing yoga for years, and so she's doing that on Wednesday nights, like you said, at 7. So there's another community type effort. We do the 109 dodgeball.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And so it's an after school, you know, where it's adult supervised, drug free.
Yeah.
We've been doing in Louisville for decades almost.
That's the best place to go on a Friday
There
evening
you go.
for us and for your children.
That's right.
The kids
Great.
have something to do
Yeah.
They have something to
besides this.
Yeah, we had a blast.
And they're with their
being there.
friends, and
Yeah.
they're, you know,
Yeah.
there's different activities we do with them other than just dodgeball.
Yeah.
And it's so that's just a handful of some of the things that we're getting involved in, or just seeing where this goes, because again, even for this space alone, you know, everybody needs a birthday, everybody's looking for a birthday party, a room, a graduation, you know, family reunions. We rent out the building, and it's not expensive for what they're getting and everything that's involved.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, put it this way, if you have a group of 100, you have bathrooms, you have full kitchen, you know, remodeled rooms, and for $300 for the day, it's not super expensive, and you have a nice place to do this at.
Right.
So
it's indoors, and you can go outdoors.
You can go outdoors too.
We have
parking lots.
Yeah, we have a pavilion in the back.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Again, if people have seen 6 months ago to where now, it's changed a lot. And I can only say this, in 6 months from now, it'll change a lot from where we're at.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're always improving, always, you know, growing, always, the compliments that we get over and over of just the building. And, you know, Tori's having her father-daughter dance there for the cheerleaders.
Are you going to have it under the lights you're putting up?
Yeah, what are you doing
They
with all
might.
those lights outside?
Yeah, tell us a little bit about the lights.
What's the project
newest,
there?
We'll say that this news is the newest project so far. Is I was on vacation at Cancun, and I kept seeing all these lights, and you've seen them before. The lights. I kept thinking, you know, this looks pretty cool. And I'd go down and look at it, and my brain would, you know, like all of us are like, I'd do it this way or that way. So I'm making I'll just call it a ceiling of lights.
Okay.
And so the best way to make it work for you to understand it is one evening when the lights, you know, because they'll come on every night. Just go down and check it out.
Check it out.
It's beautiful. I mean, it's like, this is cool. And
The lights in the sign and the lights on.
there you go. But there will be. I look at that place as more of a outside cafe look.
Okay. So you'll be putting tables or
Yeah.
something underneath
Yeah,
there?
Again, I always say every project morphs. That's the best way to say it.
Okay.
We know what we want to see,
Yeah.
and we get into it. And as you get into it, you're like, "Oh, this is cool," but what about that? What about? And it just
Yeah.
morphs into something better than I thought it was. You know, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll have to check it out. It should be up and going next couple days, actually.
Well, you got to
Wow.
check it out.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
the church is on Ravenna Avenue, in between Reno and 62.
Yeah.
It's on the east side, and
5520.
55.
Thank
Okay.
you.
I did not
See?
know the address,
There you
so
go.
you got it down. But yeah, and sometimes you'll see Scott out there tooling
Doing
around
something,
a little
huh?
bit.
I get
Just about every day. If you see his Jeep in the parking lot, stop.
You know,
Right?
yeah, it's
He's there.
yeah. I get people beeping all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who they are half the time. I'll just give a wave because
Yeah.
they're already passed. You know. Beep. So, but it's
Oh,
cool. It's
shoot.
cool. I love Louisville.
Yep.
Great community.
Well, Louisville loves you too.
Yeah,
We're
thank
so
you.
happy that you're here.
Glad to be here. Thank you. Yeah, it's cool.
And yeah, if you want to, if you have a something occasion coming up,
Yeah.
and you need a space, we have that. We're going to have some different programs. Like Scott said, we were talking about having Legacy. They have a program over in Massillon. We're talking about having something on the east side.
Yeah.
And so that's yet to come. We're in the
Yet to come.
talking infancy stage.
It is infancy, very
And
much so.
But we're talking about it. And so hopefully that'll happen, and great things are going on.
They are.
Great things are happening.
We're always looking what's the next.
But yeah, 10:30 on Sunday.
Yes.
We'll see you there.
All right. Thanks.
For sure. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. And summer is on its way.
It is.
80 degrees on Wednesday,
Wow.
hopefully.
Nice.
And yeah, graduation is over with, thank heavens.
There's a few more coming up.
Scott's laughing because he knows what we just went through.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, the graduation was awesome, and
We had a great party for Alyssa.
yeah, we're so proud of her. So a few parties coming up in June and a few in July. So
Yep.
we're looking forward to those. Anyway, everybody have a great week, and always remember, if you're thinking about buying or selling, we are your area experts. And like Arden said, and Scott has said, we'll see you in church on Sunday, 10:30. Take care, everyone.
There you go.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.